Hey guys, got another battle report. So for this game, I decided I'd bring out a completely different crazy list. Playing as my usual ogre opponent. So just to shake things up, I'm using three casters, um, two level twos and one level four with the Chaos Familiar. This basically makes him um, it basically makes him a level 5 because he takes an extra spell. So between the three of them, I knew all the spells of the law, and all three of them took Law of Fire. So yeah, I figure I'm going to try out Law of Fire just to see if you get any sort of love out of it, but I'm not holding my breath. So these spells are rolled up. So one level 2 got the Burning Head and Fireball, another level 2 got Flame Cage and Fireball, and then my level 5 got everything else. So we on to deployment. So on my right hand side, we have the 4 Skull Crushers with magic weapons, Banner and Musician, 5 Chaos Warhounds. The 3 casters are in the middle. Now, I played this game like 3 or 4 weeks ago now. Life's been really busy getting in the way, so I can't remember what they were armed with, but they all had 1+ armor saves. The general in the middle had a 4 ward. One guy had the Skull of Catan, and one guy had the Dispel Scroll. So they had a combination of items, which basically was the cheapest way to get more one-ups. I think one guy had a Dragon Helm, another guy had the Enchanted Shield, one guy had the Charm Shield, for example. They're all on Barded Steeds. Just cheap as possible to get them to 1+ armor. In the centre, so I have 2 more units of dogs, Golby's Chariot Mark of Corn. I'm actually running 50 Marauders this game, with flails and full command, no mark, because I figure that, paying all the extra points for extra attacks for the front rank or whatever isn't really worth it. And then I have a giant waste of points there. And over on this side, so I have another unit of dogs. We're just playing straight up Battleline today. So my opponent's deployment, he has a Hunter on his left. Now his right, my left. He's got an Iron Blaster, Saber Tusk, some Noblars. In the centre, he's got his Iron Gut unit with his characters. I think there's a level 2 Butcher in there and a Bruiser BSB. There's a unit of 6 Bulls with another Butcher in it, 2 single Saber Tusks. And over on this side, there's another single Saber Tusk, an Iron Blaster, and 4 Lead Belchers. So I've noticed already that I can actually exploit the fact of having his Saber Tusk so close to his units. I can maybe cause some panic chests with Fireball, so that'd be nice. When they're all to go first. This is Vanguard move. So this unit of dogs has Vanguard, so it pushes up like so. And this unit of dog has Vanguards, so it pushes up like so. And then I do win the roll to go first, so this unit of dogs pushes right up in front of that Iron Blaster to stop it moving forward. In the centre, so basically there's a general feeling of just pushing forward. So the 2 units of dogs push up, the Golby's Chariot moves up, Marauders move up, the Hell Cannon passes his leadership test, thankfully. And over on this side, so my 3 casters swing around, the Skull Crushers push up behind them, and then the dogs move forward to pin those Lead Belchers back, stop them moving forward. And in the magic phase, so I go ahead and I get a Fireball off onto that Saber Tusk, which panics the Iron Blaster, and it rolls like an inch short of running off the table, which is disappointing. But it's leadership 7, it might not rally, it might run off the table, so not a bad start on this side. That's all the Chaos turn 1, so on to Ogre turn 1, the Bulls go ahead and declare a charge against the dogs. I think they do indeed get an Ogre charge, so those dogs are screwed. And in the centre, so double Saber Tusk charge onto my dogs. This is basically going to come down to combat res. What I don't want is the one on the right to break, because it'll just break straight from my Marauders and probably panic them off the table. Leadership 7 is just terrible. And over on this side, so he goes ahead and takes the Noblars and the Hunter into my dogs, just bottlenecking that side of the board, which I'm absolutely fine with. So the the Iron Blaster does indeed rally, which kind of sucks. He decides that he left some food behind. And in the centre here, so the Bulls just move forward a little bit, and the Iron Guts don't really move around. They might even move backwards. Being far too conservative with those Iron Guts, there's nothing in my list that I can actually deal with them, successfully at the moment, but whatever he wants to do. In the magic phase, he goes ahead and puts Spine Marrow onto this unit. I let him have it. My opponent's still learning when spells are actually going to be useful or not, so I'll let him have Spine Marrow and then Dispel at Wissons. And in the shooting phase, he goes to fire this Iron Blaster, and decides to misfire, which I appreciate very much. And he rolls a 1, which blows the fuck out of everything. So, kills my unit dogs, it puts the hunter down to 1 wound, kills some Noblars, and it kills 2 Iron Guts and does a wound. So, yeah, man, that was some colossal damage right there. I was happy about that. And in the combat phase here, so my dogs on the right kill the Sabertusk, which I was very pleased with. They didn't even beat in combat, they just killed it. And the combat on the right, on the left, so the dogs do a wound, Sabertusk fluffs its attacks, and the combat's a draw. And obviously on this side, I just took the dogs off after an ogre charge. There was none of them left, so they're dead. And this picture here, so the Hell Cannon starts its turn 2 by failing its leadership test and rumbling forward. So after missing it in the first round, it now can't shoot this round. No charge to declare, so the Gobies chariot moves forward. I push the dogs forward and completely mess up their angling. So now the bulls are just going to charge and be able to overrun into my marauders. They need like a 10 to overrun, but I shouldn't even give them the opportunity, so that's a new mistake. And I go ahead and put the marauders into the woods. So if the ogres do get the overrun into them, I'm not going to be steadfast. What a genius. And over on this side, to push the Skull Crushers forward, I'm basically just giving him the opportunity where he has to deal with them. My casters are on the right there, just swing round to get into a position where he can't accurately hit me with cannonballs without hitting his lead belchers. So just try to prevent cannonballs going through my characters there. So after magic phase, go ahead and fireball off 2 lead belchers, but they passed the panic test. And in the combat in the centre here, so the Hell Cannon couldn't fire because it's an awful waste of points, and my dogs actually killed out the Sabertusk, which was nice. So into Ogre turn 2, he does indeed go ahead and declare this charge. So all he needs to do is he's got another Ogre charge, so he's going to wipe them out in impact hits. Then all he needs to do is roll a 10, and he's into my marauders. He'll beat them because he'll have an Ogre charge, and then he'll probably run them down because I'm not steadfast. So I've basically just thrown away the centre of my table here. The Noblars go ahead and declare a charge into the Warhounds, and thankfully that they fail. And the Iron Guts just push up, finally deciding to make the move forward. So, remaining moves, the Hunter swings round the trees there. He's going to throw a javelin, I think, at the Hell Cannon. It's actually quite cool, he gets a strength 6 javelin. That's actually pretty useful. In magic phase, goes ahead and puts a Whiston's Wild Form onto the Iron Guts. I'll let him have it because I'm not going to be engaging this unit anytime soon. But he also manages to get a Spine Marrow off on the bulls. I tried to dispel it and completely whiffed my roll, which sucked. So even if I do manage to beat him in combat with my marauders, if he gets there, he's going to be stubborn, so I can't really run him down. In the shooting phase, the lead belchers go ahead and pick a wound off the Skull Crushers. Cannonball overshoots, luckily. And the Hunter goes and throws his javelin into the Hell Cannon and does a wound. And predictably, the Ogre Bulls completely wipe out the dogs, and they get the overrun into the Marauders. They roll a 10, so now they've got an Ogre charge. I'm going to take tons of damage, and I'm going to lose combat, I'm going to break, and I'm going to lose that big unit of Marauders. So into Warriors of Chaos turn, the Skull Crushers go ahead and declare a charge onto the Iron Blast and fail. The remaining moves here, so the Gobies Chariot, I tried in vain to get a flank charge into those bulls, but just couldn't finagle it in any way. I was out of the arc, so he just moves around to there. Hell Cannon decides to pass its leadership test this turn, so it can actually fire, and the dogs have moved up there just to bottleneck any sort of potential charges from the Iron Guts. And so there's a shot that say that the Skull Crushers had a failed charge on the Iron Blaster. My 3 casters just move around, giving up on trying to kill those lead belchers. So I'm just going to try and throw 3 fireballs into the Iron Blaster. Hopefully, just kill it. I'm going to do 3d6 fireballs, just sheer weight of strength 4. Hopefully will bring it down. So that doesn't happen. All I managed to do is get a flame cage off onto the Iron Blaster, which is pointless. No damage from fireballs. Fire magic is just so underwhelming. In the shooting phase, the Hell Cannon decides to actually hit something, and it kills an Iron Gut and puts 2 wounds on another one. So that's not too bad. But I paid 210 points for the privilege. And in the combat phase, so I go ahead and I lose combat. I lose 11 guys. I think I kill like 2 bulls in return. After combat res, I only lose by 1, which was lucky. So I'm on a 6. I fail. I run away, and he fails to catch me. Thankfully, fails to catch me. However, this is on my turn, so he's just going to charge me, push me off the table in his turn. And that's what happens. So Ogres turn 3, the bulls declare a charge against the Marauders. They don't push me off the table, but what happens is they just catch the unit and run it down. I roll like a 4, and then he rolls like an 11, and just completely runs me over. So I just lost a big chunk of points, and he has managed to now get these bulls so far away from my lines that he can just march into the corner and preserve those points if he wants to. And the Hunter decides to charge the side of the Hell Cannon. That's not too smart because he's only got 1 wound left. I think he underestimates that the Hell Cannon's actually a bit of a badass in combat. But the Hunter does have a great weapon, so if I fluff my attacks, he can do some damage. The Noblars declare a charge into dogs. I just decide to hold because it would block up, any charges from the Iron Guts and prevent them from moving. So they just shuffle around to the side. So the rest of the moves look like this. The Lead Belchers just shuffle to the side a little bit, getting out the charge arc of those Skull Crushers, but I'm not going to be going anywhere near them. I'm going straight after the Iron Blaster. And so we made a bit of a mistake here. So after running the Marauders down, these bulls actually swift reformed and turned around. I think we'd gone off to the bar to get a drink at this point. So when we came back, we forgot that the running Marauders down actually happened on this turn. So these Ogre Bulls get to make a double move in this turn. Just an oversight from me and my opponent. However, he brings them back into the center of the table, which I think is a mistake because he's running the risk of engaging in combats later on. The smart thing to do would just be to conserve these points. So pitch a little bit out of order here. So the Noblars beat the dogs in combat, just on combat res. No one dies. He has a charge and a flank and I break, but he doesn't run me down. In Magic Phase, he got Spine Marrow on this unit, so that they're going to be stubborn. And in other combats, the Hunter with the Great Weapon goes last, and the Hell Cannon does like 5 wounds to him and completely kills him before he gets to swing. So into worst case turn 4, I get this charge off finally. The Skull Crushers go into the face of the Iron Blaster, who managed to kill one in the previous turn with a cannonball shot. I'll stick a picture of that, but hey, what are you going to do? So hopefully they should mop up the Iron Blaster, they'll run off the table, and then hopefully I'll have enough time to affect the game later on. So with little else to do, my casters just shuffle around in the centre here. I'm going to try and double fireball the Lead Belchers off the table, and then maybe try some fire magic onto the Iron Guts from a level 4 who's facing inwards. That's actually a Bretonnian horse. I just found this spare horse model just lying around in my bits box, so I figured I'd use it as my general today. The dogs continue to flee, and the Gobby's Chariot just moves around. He's done nothing all game. The Gobby's Chariot, he's not had any charges to make, so just kind of preventing any sort of weird things happening to my general. He's sort of just playing point guard. So in the Magic phase, I roll really low for this phase. I throw 1 fireball that completely fails, and then I go ahead and put a Flaming Sword of Ruin onto the Skull Crushers, just to make it a little bit easier to wound that toughness 6 Iron Blaster. So the Hell Cannon goes ahead and misses again, just relighting the fact that it is a complete and utter waste of points. And in the combat phase, so the Skull Crushers go ahead and completely wipe out the the Iron Blaster. They don't even beat in combat. They just kill it and overrun off the table. So they're facing the wrong way. They are just on to the table. And the centre here, so this is Ogre's turn 4. He goes ahead and declares a charge with the Noblars and the dogs again, just to push them out of the way. And the Iron Guts go ahead and get a big charge into the Hell Cannon. I think again he rolls an Ogre charge. He's really rolling high for his charges this game. Even if he doesn't need it, he was rolling 10s and 11s just to get the Ogre charge. So the Iron Guts are going to kill the Hell Cannon after he's killed one Iron Gut all game. So 210 points to kill a single Iron Gut. And the Bulls are in the south of these trees, just swing around. Again, this is a mistake because he's just opened himself up to a charge from the Gobi's chariot, and he's then going to take that charge, and I'm going to kill him, run him down. What he should have done is just march these Bulls off into the corner of the table, where I'm never going to get those points, and he'll win the game. So the Lead Belchers move around in the shooting. They put one wound onto my general. And after combat, it looks like this. So the Iron Guts just completely batter the Hell Cannon. I think I get a couple of wounds on. I don't know if I kill anybody or not. It looks like I may have picked up one Iron Gut, just because he's striking last. But then completely wipes out the Hell Cannon and he just reforms into the centre. So, Warriors of Chaos turn 5, I go ahead and take this charge. I was gratefully going to accept this opportunity to pick up some points, because I'm way behind in points at this point. I've got the 2 Iron Blasters and the Saber Tusks, but he's got my Hell Cannon and my big unit Marauders. So I'm down on points at this stage of the game. I need to make something happen. So I'll gratefully take this opportunity. The Spellcasters just shuffle around with the fireworks. This is like the firework army. This is like the fire council list. And now the dogs are in general leadership. They actually rally, which is nice. Skull Crushers come back on the board. Go as fast as they can to get back into the action. And the Magic Phase, I go ahead and throw a couple of fireballs onto the Lead Belchers, which wipes them out. Well, it kills one. The other one panics, but he rolls just low enough to stay on the table. And Magic Phase also managed to get Flaming Sword, Fulminating Flame Cage onto the Iron Guts here. I think it does a wound or 2, doesn't do a lot. And after combat, it looks like this. So he's 1 wound away from not being steadfast and being broken and run down. But he's steadfast on an 8 with a reroll, and he sticks. Ogres turn 5. The Noblars go ahead and charge into the side of the Gobi's chariot. He did this just to get him out of the way of the Iron Guts. But then when the Noblars, would have gone in such a way that they were longer than the Gobi's space, so the Iron Guts couldn't, wheel in around them. So I was happy about that. And then he decided not to move the Iron Guts at all, just because of Flame Cage. But it wouldn't have done much to the Iron Guts. It would have been 8 strength 4 hits, and then he gets his saves. So I'm glad that deterred him from moving, even though it wouldn't really been that effective. And the Lead Belcher thankfully fails to rally and runs off the table. So I've picked up some more points there. So in combat, I do some fighting to the front, kill a guy. I think one of my charioteers fights to the side, completely whiffs his attacks, so doesn't kill any Noblars, and I take a wound in return. So between combat rares, I think I lose by 1, but I stick in place. But obviously I've lost Frenzy, so. And now, so Chaos turn 6. Now, you remember where the Skull Crushers were in the previous turn? I measured it out and I was exactly 19 inches away. Not just under, not just over. It was exactly 19 inches, maximum charge range. So I declare the charge, and that was my charge roll. 665. Man, these Skull Crushers want to get shit done today. Take a wound from the dangerous terrain. But man, I've made this charge, and this isn't even going to be game winning because it's a unit of Iron Guts. So I need to, I need to roll well, and I need to just obliterate this unit. But man, I was so happy. this charge could pretty much it's going to decide the game. Either I kill his unit and I win the game, or he kills my unit and he wins the game. At the moment, he's up on points. I think just so this is basically going to decide the game. Spellcasters move around the trees like this. They don't really have anything to do. Problem with fire is there's so much direct damage magic that in the later turns of the game when everyone's in combat, there's very little spells that you can actually cast. And the dogs just move up to the top of the picture there just to get out of the way. So in the magic phase, I go ahead and I throw a flame cage onto the iron guts. Again, it does another couple of wounds, which is nice. It pulls off another iron gut, so that's another 3 strength 6 attacks, not going against the skull crushers. And I managed to get the flaming sword of ruin onto the skull crushers. So now I'm wounded on 2s with everything. So I'm hoping just to do a ton of damage, which I do. So in the combat, I take 1 wound or 2 wounds. I lose the skull crusher, but I kill all but the standard bearer from the iron guts, and just leave the bruiser, the butcher, and the standard bearer. But that's enough to make a rank, so they're steadfast and they stick. But in his turn 6, hopefully I should be able to clear up enough to break the unit and run them down. In the other combat, the Gobi's chariot killed all the Noblars to the flank, and killed the bull to the front, which made the firebelly here, which is actually a butcher. He broke, but he's going to rally on his own leadership, so I'm not expecting him to run off the table. Yeah, that's the Gobi's chariot now not having frenzy and not on a turn that it charged. Didn't have to pursue, so he just reforms. I'm not sure why I didn't pursue. I should have pursued. I think maybe, I don't know why I didn't pursue. As I played this game a long time ago, so I can't really remember why I didn't just try and run down the butcher. So Ogres turn 6. You can see I lose another skull crusher, but I kill the bruiser or the standard bearer. I do enough to win combat. He breaks, so the standard bearer dies, or the bruiser dies, whichever I didn't kill in combat. He instantly dies because he broke from combat, and then the butcher flees, gets away from the skull crusher, which is disappointing. But I picked up the points for the iron guts and the bruiser. And the table looks like this at the end of Ogre turn 6. So the butcher didn't rally, he fled, but he's still on the table. The trees to the bottom left has the other butcher in it, and that's all that's left of the Ogre army. And I have my unit skull crushers, the Gobi's chariot, all my characters, which is like nearly 1,000 points, and a unit of dogs. So it's actually a fairly big win for Chaos in the end. Just shows how the little things matter. Don't make that charge with the skull crushers, I probably lose this game. If my opponent doesn't move infield with his bull unit, I win the game. He wins the game. So a couple of mistakes by my opponent and one hell of a lucky charge. So at the end of the game, I decided that Law of Fire sucks. I took every spell from the Law of Fire. I gave it every opportunity in this game to perform, and it just didn't. So, yeah, I mean, Law of Fire is just so underwhelming. Even if you try to spam Fireball, it's just not reliable enough. It's not powerful enough, and it's just really disappointing. It was nice to try a different list. It was nice not just to run the Demon Prince at my opponent and watch them cry because they can't deal with it. So it was nice to try something different. And my main mistake for this game was putting the Marauders in the fucking woods. I lost the combat by 1, so I took a leadership test on a 6 and I rolled a 7. If I hadn't been in the woods, I'd have been steadfast and I would have passed that test and then been able to grind away at those ogres, because without the impact hits, I win combat in the next round and then I break them. It's just a complete mistake there on my part. Luckily, I didn't have to pay the price for it. But man, that pretty much would have cost me the game 9 times out of 10 doing that. The Hell Cannon, no matter what anyone says, is a complete waste of points. It is an utter waste of points. Stone throwers are okay when you pay 90 points for them. You know, if you're taking Tomb King's Catapult or an Orc Rock Lobber or a Trebuchet, they're all really good because they're less than 100 points. If it misfires and kills itself, it's no big loss. If it misses every turn, it's no big loss. But the Hell Cannon's 210 points. There's a chance that you can't do anything at all. There's a chance that you're going to miss. There's a chance you're going to misfire. The misfires are horrible. They can make your wizards miscast. And the first game I used my Hell Cannon and my Demon Prince together, the Hell Cannon made the Demon Prince miscast and cascade. So, the Hell Cannon's so unreliable. And for 210 points, it's way overpriced. This list, I actually quite liked it. It forced me to kind of play a bit more tactical. I couldn't just run the Demon Prince at people and pick up points and make them put the toys away. So I may run this list again or something similar, but run my 3 casters with Shadow or run the 3 casters with Death, something like that. Just to try it out again. Maybe try and squeeze a BSB in somewhere. I'll probably keep the Hell Cannon in. I love the model. I love the potential damage it can do, but oh man, it's just such a waste of points. So you might see this list again in the future. I have made some tweaks to my tournament list. Just a few little changes here and there. I think let's just streamline the list a little bit. So I'll be playing that list as well. Thanks for watching, guys. This is I hope you like the intro. It's a new sort of style of battle report. I'm going to try and jazz them up a little bit. So I hope you enjoyed the battle report. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. There'll be more battle reports like this in the future. And comment on anything that you don't like about the list. Whatever. Comment box is down below. I'll respond to any comments that you put in. So thanks, guys. Thanks for watching, and bye.